Hello and welcome to my 13 days of Halloween movies. It is day 9 currently. For the last 3 days I've talked about some pretty heavy and scary movies. Not just one about death being inevitable, but 2. So today I decided to chill out and watch the least scary movie ever. A Disney Channel original movie, Halloweentown. I put this on the list because I do enjoy looking back on childhood classics and seeing how they've aged, judging little me for what he really liked. I also struggled to believe this came out in 1998. That's almost as old as my sister and she's basically pushing retirement age at this point. I remember watching this when I was young, and I remembered these parts of the movies too. There are 4 of them, and the last one came out in 2006, so I was like 3. I don't really remember much from that age, but something about Halloweentown made it a staple in my younger years, I think because my older sister did like it so much. All of that to say, I will be talking about this movie with nostalgia glasses. I can say off the top that if I didn't have these memories, I would think this movie is even more middling than I do now. That word sums up my feelings on Halloweentown pretty accurately. It's a middling movie. A fun enough trip down memory lane that has a few good elements, but nothing that blows it up and makes it really good. It isn't downright awful, but it doesn't have the juice some other old classics do. I want to stress that is arguably the best outcome for this movie. I can't imagine that many of these old DCOMs stand the test of time all that well. I am an adult now with film tastes that have grown with time and changed. I have fundamental differences in how I watch film and what resonates with them. I do love some movies and shows made for children, but not every single one of them is going to hit the same way it did when I was in kindergarten. So Halloweentown aging fine rather than badly is a positive. At least that's how I view it. I can also see what about this movie would be appealing to a younger kid. The idea that you are destined to be more is a widespread theme in children's media. Harry Potter is the same story. The idea that one day you can be a boring, stinky kid, and the next you are whisked off to be the chosen one in this land you can now explore is one that clearly resonates with children. It is a message that hit 22-year-old me a little bit differently than 4-year-old me when it's about a 13-year-old witch. What I did love about this movie was all the fun characters. There was just lots of freaks in the backgrounds of random shots. The kids would be talking and walking, and a hideous monster would just walk by. They wouldn't even acknowledge it. The cab driver being a wisecracking skeleton. Just all these little quirks of the place that was Halloweentown and the people that live there. It was all just really endearing to me for some reason. I love random weirdos in movies. Do you remember the John Krasinski movie from last year, If? No. Of course you don't, because really nobody does. But I do, because it just had so many fun little guys in it. Fun little creatures. Halloweentown is filled up on the fun little guys category, making me like it more just because of these fun background details. I want to talk about a problem I have with the plot of this children's movie. In order to defeat the evil witch at the center of all this, you have to activate a talisman. And specifically, having to drop that talisman in the pumpkin is some bullshit. And them figuring that out is even worse. The idea that Marnie was able to figure it out with 30 seconds of thinking, and the skilled witch who has lived in this town for 200 years couldn't, is some grade A nonsense. Aggie seemingly tried every spell and potion under the sun. She investigated and studied, all for none of it to matter. Simply dropping the doohickey into a pumpkin did the trick. I also refuse to believe in Aggie's 200 years of witching, nobody has used the pumpkin for other magic. The town was once great, right? The old glory days, it all ran smoothly, and everyone had fun. She had to have been able to figure this out, but no, it took the kids connecting dots from an offhanded comment that Grandma made way earlier in the film. I'm annoyed at just how much this very minor issue played out and affected the movie. It makes for a fundamentally disappointing reveal, a reveal that the entire plot hinges on. A lot of the runtime is centered around trying to figure out how to activate this talisman and banish the evil. The kids make the potion and fail. One thing tried, which keep in mind was not a short section of the movie. We had to see them sneak around, gather werewolf hair, ghost sweat, and a vampire fang. Then we have to go back to the house, which is another cab ride scene. They struggled through making the potion, and it fails. And then it just happens the very next thought they have is correct in the solution. It just happened way too quickly. No montage studying the city. One of the kids just spits the answer out. It makes the pacing feel so disjointed when you spend 5+ minutes on the failed attempt and 20 seconds on the right one. So not only does the in-universe lore not make any sense, but it makes a poorly paced movie. While I think Halloweentown is a fine movie overall, it is also a bad Scooby-Doo movie. Let me break that down for you real quick. If I was to rate this movie within the Scoobyverse movies, it would be in the bottom third, at the top of that bottom third, but most Scooby movies are better than this, I think. I just love Scooby-Doo. But you may be asking, why do I even bring this up? Why talk about Scooby-Doo? Well, dear viewer, because Halloweentown is secretly a Scooby-Doo movie. Stay with me. The kids in this movie come to a new location, one that is being attacked by a demon, a place a relative lives. That right there is like half of the Scooby movies. Shaggy Showdown, Loch Ness Monster, Gourmet Ghost all have the exact plot of the gang going to a new location where one of their family members lives and there's mischief happening. At the end of the movie, the most obvious villain candidate among the people is revealed. It isn't a twist for anyone with even an ounce of critical thinking. Same thing with most Scooby movies. The younger brother is an annoying nerd who has to ruin everyone else's fun and also doesn't believe in the magic or supernatural. That's just Velma. The younger sister is the coolest of them and secretly the best at everything. She is Daphne, the taxi driver being a fun side character who has no real importance other than comical relief. Every Scooby movie has one of them. Every piece of this lines up perfectly to being a Scooby-Doo movie, which is a shame. I missed one movie in my review of every Scooby movie. Now I have to get back to seriously analyzing a Disney Channel original film. I do find one subplot in this movie to be potentially dangerous if kids take the wrong message. I am talking about the Luke plotline. He's an ugly goblin, outside and in. He made a deal with the evil mayor. If Luke helps freeze anyone who opposes the mayor and helps enslave them, the mayor will make him not ugly. But none of that mattered at the end of the day when everyone just forgave Luke, just because he tried to reverse his actions. Doing bad stuff and saying sorry, throwing a pity party for yourself does not absolve you of your bad actions, Luke. History will remember when you helped the mayor suppress the media. You helped a warmonger authoritarian who tried to silence his opposition. Wait a minute. Now if I'm talking about authoritarians who like to silence the media and repress the First Amendment, and the type of people who bend the knee to give in, do you know where the only place you can watch this for free is? If you guessed Disney Plus, you would be right. I've never paid for Disney Plus personally and not used their services for a while now, but in light of recent events, suspending Kimmel, lots of people have canceled the subscription and decided to cut ties. While I don't really understand why Kimmel is where so many people draw the line, I am excited about it. Like, if any of the stuff that has been happening over the past months haven't made you angry, I'm glad something finally has, even if I don't personally get it, but I think this is neat. My advice would be, if you want to watch this movie, don't do so on Disney's dime. I don't think I'm allowed to tell you how to do that, but just try a couple Google searches. It isn't that hard.
Hello, this is Editing Dawson here. They have reinstated Kimmel's show. Fuck them anyway.
This might be one of my most rambling videos ever, to be honest. I don't know if I said actually anything insightful about the movie, but I had many thoughts that I needed to get out of my head, and this video just did that. I hope you enjoyed this mess. I'll be back tomorrow for another day of Halloween movies. Like, comment, and subscribe, pretty please. Thanks for watching.